Righty, welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 17th of July 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Well, shed a few kilos over the last couple of weeks, but I'm now back on the road to recovery and I'll be looking to build my conditioning and my weight back up over the next few months. Directionally correct with the health at the moment, which is good. Now, for the main thing we're here about today is the stock market. Okay, base metals, scrap metals, rare earths, all taking a bit of a leap forward. Quite exciting. They were moving beforehand, before we got the announcement there, but they're delivering some new high breakouts, as are a lot of the industrials at the moment, which are underpinning our portfolios nicely at the moment. So we're in a good position at the moment, and so we'll have a look at a few stocks today and see where we are at the moment. But firstly, we'll go to the trend intensity ratings and see how they're looking at the moment. Okay, well, we've got a few, Dow and Orica Mining Services stocks, which are doing quite nicely at the moment. Hub, of course, which is, and Net Wealth are both doing very well on the platform basis. We've got Linus, which is broken up nicely, the rare earths. NHF, another little industrial, moving well. Origin's broken up. Promedicus broken up. SGM's a new one this week. ALQ's doing well. And EBO's actually starting to move again. Been a bit of a frustrating stock, and we'll have a bit of a look at that one later on. But you can see there, Hub 24 there, looking very nice. Nice, simple little breakout to new highs. So we buy that one on the Monday morning, and we set our stop, and off it goes. And it's already jumped from about $78 to nearly $100. So that's a pretty good time. So we like those sorts of stocks that move pretty well. Okay, stock pick count is up 2 to 50. Nothing extraordinary. I think we had 2 out and 4 in this week. They're all on the website for you to check out which ones are in. So there's 50 stocks out of 160 that we've got at the moment, and as far as for our stock pick counts, for our portfolios, everything there. So all fairly positive there for the moment. Okay, now as far as the portfolios go, they're the backbone and the substance of what I do really. I know I've got the basic stock radar, but the actual portfolios themselves are where we really start to find out and leverage our stock picks. We use 5 stocks only. They're all performing well at the moment. I'm going to review them all next week, our portfolios, so you can have to check that out. So anyone interested in these portfolios, please get in contact with me and we can get you started on those fairly quickly. Okay, so let's kind of look at the overseas markets now. Again, we've got new highs on stocks, but the indices aren't doing that at the moment, really. The Dow, as you can see, they're sitting just under its highs there. Hasn't broken it. We'd love to see it break for a sentiment purpose, but it hasn't done that yet. So we're still waiting on that one. And the S&P is a bit the same. It's just that it nudged through without really making a decisive break at this stage. And volume's middling. There's activity there, but nothing that really says, bang, this is going to head off again. The one that's probably the brightest spark is probably the Nasdaq. It's broken a little bit more clear at this stage. Again, the volume's really nothing fantastic at the moment, apart from positive, but it is above the average and momentum is good. So I guess we just have to take that as a positive sign, and hopefully that will continue to move higher. Okay, so we go to our market, the S&P 200, which again is a similar position to the Dow or the S&P. It's just sitting on those highs there, hasn't broken through. It's probably been there for about 5 weeks now, and we haven't really got a decisive break. Momentum's still holding at the moment. So we're hopeful there. Again, we'll probably bounce back again today after a bit of a scare yesterday, which happens every now and then. But this market probably should be up again today. Okay, so now we go to the gold, and again, I'm sort of focusing on the last few weeks there. You can see I've put a little ellipse on both the volume and the price chart there. We see a bit of activity, sort of go a bit of selling starting to just slow this gold rally down. It hasn't broken down by any means yet, and this is always a good thing just to solidify a trend or consolidate a trend. But we do know there's selling there. Hasn't really affected the price at this stage, but it's happening, and we just make sure we're a bit wary. I guess it's just a little bit of an amber light flashing, just saying, be careful. There's a bit of a slowing of the trend there, but it's a normal behaviour. Nothing really to worry about at the moment. Copper, pretty impressed. It's held onto its gains in the US. It's been a good week this week, so we're still pretty happy about that. We did get a bit of volume last week, which is probably a good sign. We've got this big reversal pattern that we know that we love and we're watching, and we've now broken above that. So we really are looking for better copper prices in the future there for us, which is a nice thing. Again, for our big leaders that we looked at last week, we went through all the copper stuff last week, which was quite interesting, and there are some good stocks there for us to watch. Okay, Brent crude really has done nothing again. There's not really much worth spending a lot of time on that one. It's just going down. The pressure's down. I've got a little uptrend line through the lows here for the last couple of months, which is a positive thing, but no real upside forays yet, or any upside sort of take out of resistance or anything at this stage. Slight easing of downside pressures. Maybe we're starting to get a turn, and this is probably just early days yet. The volume's picked up a bit, which is a good sign. So it may be the early days yet, but no real sign of any rallies yet. We really need to see this downtrend line broken and a couple of these highs here taken out before we start getting too excited about Brent. Okay, so stocks we're looking at the moment. I'm going to go through a few stocks now. From our stock picks and alert, we saw SGM fired off a new high last week, as did Origin. Our platform stocks, IWL and Hub, as I mentioned before, are roaming higher. And even BHP and Rio, although we had a bit of a pullback yesterday, they bounced off that little bit of support that we talked about last week, and they're looking a little bit more interesting again. And even iron ore maybe looking a little bit more interesting again. Albanese seems to have done reasonably well on a PR basis while he's been in China, and taken their distraction off that meeting with Trump, which is no big deal anyway. So those stocks are bouncing off support nicely. Other metals and mining stocks marching higher, like stock pick Linus, which is doing well, and others hitting the radar in the metals and mining. We've got a couple of new breakouts there for you to watch. Our telecom stocks are doing well. We've got two good stocks there. We're going to look at TPG in a minute, and we know Telstra's doing well. There's a new utility stock on the radar, a big one, and a new health stock come onto our radar there. And finally, our lottery stock may finally be on the verge of making a move now. So you can go to the trading centre to check out all those stocks there, what may be on the move, what be about to move, all there ready for you to have a look at. So we'll go through a few now. First, we'll start off with Linus. We were already in this one before we got this announcement there. It had come back a bit. Our stop didn't go up, but bang, it's gone straight back up again. And again, I guess we're really looking for these highs up around just above $11 for it to move towards now. We've got some reasonable volume through here. Momentum's good. It's above the average. We've got a nice series of higher lows up here. So it's looking pretty good. Higher lows and higher highs is what we want to see. Trend intensity rating is 10 for Linus. Again, can be a volatile stock, as we can see there. Be careful. Always work with stops is our mantra. So you can't do any damage. And just remember, if your stop does get hit, make sure you get out. Okay, so for the moment, Linus is looking pretty good. We saw the big downtrend here. We saw the slow turn, and now it's moving into the uptrend phase. And we would dearly love to see it above $11, but that's for the future. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Okay, then we go to TPG Telecom, sort of under the radar a bit, this one. We had a fairly lengthy downtrend here for TPG. It turned here. We've got a double bottom here. We've got the switch zone here where it moves through the downtrend, through the moving average, and we get a confirmation of our reversal. The peak between the two lows here gives us a confirmation there, and it's now moved quite well straight towards R1, which is up around 560, 570, and at the moment the price is around 560, so we're nearly there. Trend intensity rating is 8 for TPG, so we'd really love to see it through R1, but it's looking quite good. And if we go through here with the volume there, if I just squeeze out the volume a bit, we can see here some nice volume has been pushing this market higher and the strong momentum there. So again, the steadiness of these industrials we like. The metals can be a bit volatile sometimes, can be very rewarding, and we've been done very well lately, and not always be so, because we've got to be very careful of those markets. But the industrial ones, we like these stocks because they do underpin, and often they carry a bit of yield as well. So TPG looks pretty nice there with a trend intensity rating of +8. And of course, even in yesterday's market, Qantas still managed to make a new high. There are some stocks like Telstra, like Qantas, that are still continuing that beautiful industrial base, making new highs regardless of what's happening around it. So Qantas is looking pretty good still. It's made a new high, it's jumped to new highs again, and trend intensity rating is 9. You can see some nice volume pushing through here. The volume's got back on track again. So again, Qantas, we just follow this higher with our stop at the moment. Trend intensity rating is +9. All stops you can see where they're set on the trading centre. Every week I update them for you for Monday morning for the week. Remember, my stops are never on the market, because I take my stops on Friday and I act on Monday. So during the week, any alerts that you get are really just alerts, and they're not confirmed until Friday's close. Okay? So that's how I approach it. I try and take the stress out of the market. I don't trade daily. I don't look at the market very much daily. I just do the weekly thing. It's a perspective thing. It's a stress-free thing, and it makes life a lot easier. Most of my clients run their own superannuation funds. They're fairly astute, and they're fairly wary of what can happen. So They like to follow this weekly process. It makes life a bit easier for them. And they've got time to do the things that are important in life, which is life balance, other things besides just trading. Okay, so that's Qantas for you and my little view on life. EBOS. Again, a frustrating stock, and they happen, unfortunately. So, but when I do, some people might prefer to get out of them, but I will wait there till my stop goes off. This keeps banging up and down against this area up around about 36.50 area. Hasn't quite got through. We've got some nice volume pushing again here. Stops just down here. We've got the break here, and it's just gone sideways for a few months. Frustratingly so, but we will hang on to this until it tells us otherwise. You never know what might happen there. Momentum, of course, is sort of limping along here because we've really got some sideways movement there. So for some of you, it may not be your favourite stock, but this is just the way I play it, and I will hang in there until I'm told not to. So you never know what might happen. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, then we can go to, well, we looked at Orica, which is one of the, it's involved in the metal sector, of course. It's a support for the metal sector. It's had a beautiful break up here. We're just looking for a new high, simple new high here. We've got a nice move starting here. Then it was confirmed, the strength of this move was confirmed as it ran through about 1850. It's now up around 2075. Volume has been good. If I squeeze that big red one up there, you can just see the volume there is looking quite nice. Quite solid through here, and momentum has been very good. So a nice move by Orica, very, very firmly underpinned. We've had one down week in probably about 10 weeks there, so that's looking very nice chart there. And the next resistance really isn't up till about $24 up there. So there's some gains that can probably still be had there. Again, always work with your stop to make sure you are safe. Okay, and again, you know, go figure. Another stock, Pro Medicus. Here it goes again. It's obviously a very, very good stock. It's got some great business. It's developed really well. We saw this knockdown here, and we get scared. Sometimes these stocks happen, and sometimes they don't recover. Maybe next DC hasn't really recovered, and so we don't really know. But this one has recovered, and we've got a new high. So of course we go with the new high. It's a trend intensity rating of 10. We've got volume here. We've got momentum. It's above the average, so it's off again. Whether we get another one on these two trends, we don't know, but we'll certainly follow it with our stop and try and make the most of it we can, because it's been very kind to us and may well still be again, hopefully. So that's Pro Medicus. Now I want to move down to the small again. I should show you a copper stock last week, which we'll look at again. But on the rare earth sector, there's not a lot of stocks there. We've got Iluka, we've got Linus, and this one here is called Arafura Rare Metals. I just thought I'd show you this one because it looks quite interesting, because there's not a lot of stocks involved. There are a lot there, but some of them aren't doing that flash, and some of them are very small. This is on the slightly larger end, probably about $500 million market cap, this stock. But if we have a look at this one here, the pattern here we've got, we've got a nice little base across here. A little double bottom here, so we've got our reversal point is here. So we're not there yet. We've had a good week so far this week. We've actually had quite a good couple of months here. If we look at this rally off the low, there's been some good volume through here. The sellers tested it and they challenged it. We've got a higher low here, which is a good sign, and we're now getting a bit of volume pushing this market higher again, and we're now looking to move up and test this R1 level. The top of that level is until about 23.5 cents, so we'll probably wait till that falls, but trend intensity rating is +1 and ready to confirm this here. And all I've done here is when I look for a move, often from this sort of move, I look to just extrapolate up the range, and it gives me a rough idea of where it might head to. And in this instance here, it will be up around maybe 36 cents as a rough guide. Is all I'm really looking at there. So, but Arafura looks like an interesting stock. The pattern is good, it's solid, the volume is good, and again, it's not a minnow, but it's just a smaller stock, but it's certainly worth looking at if you're looking at that rare earth spot. The other one is Kinkora Copper, which we looked at last week. Again, the smaller end of the copper area, but still not a minnow by any means. And it's a nice little move up. Last week was a good week. We looked at it on Thursday. It's finished the week well on Friday. It's holding this week. Trend intensity rating is +7. We have had a trend reversal down here. We've got a high point here, a pullback, and a rally through the highs there, and we've got some very good volume there, which has pushed this market up. So we really like this move. It's looking very solid. The momentum's turning positive. Trend intensity rating is +7. So it looks like a good one here. Moving towards R1 and R2. Again, work with your stops to be careful with these stocks here. So there's a few ideas for you to work in some of those rare earths and copper stock areas, which are starting to break higher. Some of these stocks will come on board soon and start moving well, and the potential for some of these stocks it's got to be pretty good. We look at something like King Core. It's been up around 35 before, so we can certainly get back up there again. And it's only just around 5 or 6 cents at the moment, so plenty of moves there. Okay, so there's a few stocks for you to have a look at. Again, as I said before, the rare earths, base metals, Sims metals. BlueScope's looking interesting as well. You can have a look at it in the trading centre. So there are some stocks there for you ready to move there. Now we'll just go to some slides here. Just very briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about the highs. We've got a lot of hot new highs in the market. We've got 50 stock picks at the moment. Probably 45 of them are probably new highs and 5 of them are probably trend reversals. But we've got a lot of trend reversal potential because there are a lot of stocks not in the stock pick count there. So keep an eye on the trading centre. There are always stocks moving. There's always, you don't have to worry about missing out. There's always new stocks coming on board all the time. So I looked at metal stock a while ago, AFG, and then I looked at Carlton Investments, and then I looked at Pepper Money, which is now moving in those sort of sectors. So you can sort of look for different stocks there. They're not really in my remit, but I keep my clients abreast of some of those stocks for you to keep an eye on. But the new highs are happening at the moment. The indices are really yet to deliver the knockout punch we want. It's really more of a sentiment thing rather than stocks, because they're so polarised on the big stocks. Even the Nasdaq and things are polarised on big stocks, as our market are polarised around the financials and the leaders. So on a sentiment basis, though, it's always positive to have those indices through the new highs. The rare earths are rising from the ashes from a low base, which is very, very good for us. And the steady industrials are underpinning our portfolios very nicely indeed, with some very good stocks in there at the moment. Okay, so really new highs. Is it that simple? Well, it really is that simple. We don't need to complicate things. People do that, but you don't need to. You can spend hours poring over data and charts and stuff like that, but you don't really need to. Just a couple of simple setups will get you by if you manage them properly. Of course, always with every system, whether you're fundamental, technical, whatever you are, your risk management always is the most important thing that you do. Okay, so here we've got the new highs. Is it that simple? Opportunities are plentiful. Just look at some of those stocks there. They're all making new highs, all moving really nicely. And so, but you only need a couple of those stocks to. We only need 5 stocks is really all we need. We can do a 10 stock portfolio if you like. It doesn't perform as well. It's probably a little bit more less volatile, but we love the 5 stock portfolio because it returns. So when we get onto a stock pick, we back ourselves with high conviction, and that's what we do. Okay, so that's about all I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed today. There's my lovely disclaimer, which we will have to show. And that's my homepage. So really, all I've really got for else today is that there are always stocks emerging. Don't trouble yourself with FOMO. It doesn't matter. You're going to miss some stocks. It doesn't matter. Stay cool and you'll make the right decisions and focus on the stocks you've got. There's a wealth of riches out there. Stay with your capabilities and your risk profile and carefully manage the stocks you have. That's what it's all about. Risk management, manage the stocks you have. You don't have to get them all. Just get a few and you'll be okay. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you all next week. It's an exciting week again. We've got some new things happening, new things coming on board, as always happens. But make sure you watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you all next week for another round of Stocks on the Move by Stockradar. Okay, thanks very much.